So the Trunks finally has his EZA that we've been waiting for some time, and it seems like he's going to be at full power now. This is the Int Trunks Teen Future that does actually have a domain as a free-to-play unit, which, you know, I think is a nice little effect that the domain does give. And we're going to test him out today, see what he's going to do at the rainbow level here. So if we just, you know, kind of look through this, he does have special equipment that is unique to specifically him that you can farm from the story event, which is really, really nice to see. So I didn't really find like the mega best equips. I mean, in fact, I have this like crit and defense additional, but I wanted to give like some of the defense equips on there before hopping in here and just having fun. I would say dodge is what you want to go for a hidden potential build on this unit, but he has full link level 10 here. We're going to have fun. We're going to see what this boy is able to look like here. So this Trunks does build up stats over time. With each attack he performs, he gets 25% attack and a 5% chance to crit. That goes up to 100% attack and defense. I only say 25% attack? Whatever, you guys get the point. But when he does 4 attacks, he will get the 100% extra attack and defense, which is a multiplicative, which is pretty good overall. Then when he performs a super attack, he gets 50% attack and defense per Future Saga category ally in the same turn, which is really good because back before his EZA, it's only 40% on super attack if there's another Future Saga ally. So he goes from 40% to potentially 100% attack and defense on super attack, because of course that does not include himself. Then he has a high chance to crit if there's a Future Saga or Time Traveler category ally. Now you see here his defense is relatively low, so he'll get 100% attack and defense on super, which will take him to what? About 360k from this, you know, the numbers he's at right here. Then he does get a 30% defense raise on super attack after that, so that's about what? An extra 120k defense. So he's hitting about 480k defense without any of his extra 100% buildup. Now that 100% buildup is added to the 100% he gets on super. So essentially, based on the numbers we're seeing here, with 50% support, he would basically get another 180k on top of that. So he's reaching about, what, 660k defense in the max scenario next to this Mai. The only unfortunate thing is that all the content right now is really short, so it's going to be a little hard to build this guy up without any additionals. Let's see what his attack numbers could be, though. So he's sitting at 3.3 mil attack stat. Definitely not the best there. And he did get the dodge right there, which is really good. He's getting a lot of links with this Prime Battle Trunks. The one thing about this Trunks is that his link set isn't really going to be the best, right? He has Messenger for the Future, Cold Judgment, Royal Lineage, Dismal Future, Z Fighter, Soul vs. Soul, and Shattering the Limit. We are actually getting Cold Judgment here from this Prime Battle Trunks. I believe so, right? Let me actually double check. I'm pretty sure we're getting Cold Judgment for this Trunks, but I guess I don't know 100%. They do share 5 common links that we are getting Cold Judgment as well. So we're getting basically all of his defensive links, right? Except for Soul versus Soul, which is not really something that's going to be too common. So we'll go ahead and float Gowasu and Smasu off. Let's let Future Gohan grab this. We'll let this boy grab that one. And then we'll get this to Gowasu. Gowasu will be able to give this boy 20%, 70% defensive support, right? So next turn, comparatively, we're not going to get any supports that we're going to see on the rotation, right? Which, you know, it'll be good to see as well, just a bunch of different situations, which is why we went into the second form Frieza, like, you know, event here. I'll say second form Frieza, but like, you know, I guess you could say like it's a transforming Frieza red zone. It kind of could almost even be seen as like the legendary Frieza event in itself, because it's basically what a legendary Frieza event would be for the most part, right? Except for like the golden Friezas. But this is like relatively difficult, but it's enough where I could like control the space of what's going on, right? If that makes sense. But I don't know. This Trunks, like at max numbers, he seems like he could be a pretty solid unit overall. But I'm not sure how good he's going to be against, like, the toughest fights. Now, one good thing is that his domain ability could essentially be activated from turn 1 if you are using him on... Okay, of course you didn't dodge. If you're using him on the... Like, against the, let's say, Fusion Zamasu even, Probably not Fusion Zamasu, actually is like really good save for this guy. I would say, well, unless you dodge the normal, right? But let's say against Goku Black and Zamasu, right? You could use this guy's domain from turn 1 because it can be activated from the first turn if there's a time traveler's category enemy, or if you're from the 5th turn from the start of turn. So right here we could actually get every single link active, so we'll go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and heal with the Sensu Bean right there. We'll put this STR Super Strike Trunks in slot 1. He's like an okay unit. We'll put you right here, and let's just see how things are gonna look. So I mean, okay, let's see offensively. We know kind of what his defensive numbers are going to be looking like anyways. Yeah, you're taking some damage. So, I mean, that's another thing. I'm kind of running like these like mediocre-ish units here. This Trunks does also support, by the way. Well, does he die here? He might, because he gets attack and defense on super, but not really a lot. Yeah, okay, this Trunks does die. That is funny. Let's just hop back in. Alright, we're back in here. Let's go ahead and, I guess I'll just put you in the first slot, right? It doesn't really matter. So again, this time, this is turn 1 without any support. He's at 140k, so he's missing a lot of defense compared to no doubt the 50% support, right? Considering the multiplicative stats he could get, I think, you know, losing out on 40% defense is quite a bit much. So I guess, yeah, in that situation, let's see, without support, if he's fully built up, so he would get 200%. So that goes up to 450k defense. Then he gets another 30% on top of that. So he is cracking 500-ish k defense without support, which is not like bad, but it's funny because like I would say like take me back like a month ago. I'd say 500k defense for a free-to-play unit. I definitely will take that, even if they take time to build up. But these bosses now, how to explain it, they hit just so much harder than usual. Now we're not seeing the domain effect, and I think that's the biggest thing about this Trunks is his domain ability. So I guess we'll just start talking about it, or I guess, you know, I'll skip ahead until we can get Trunks' domain ability, and we'll kind of explain it from there. But his domain ability basically does give a pretty nice support buff to certain category allies. What about that? Alright, so I have the domain ability we can use now here. So this domain ability does give future Saga category allies and enemies 10% attack and defense. So it does actually buff your enemy, which is really interesting. You could be using it, of course, if there's a time traveler category enemy or starting from the 5th turn. And what happens is it creates the domain Wasto Future, whatever it's called, for 4 turns. Basically the touch grass domain. So yeah, I think it's interesting that these domains also buff your enemies, which is cool, right? I think overall it is a cool ability to have, or it also could, it theoretically could debuff your allies, right? I mean, not theoretically, it happens with the Fusion Zamasu, right? Where he debuffs your allies, same with the future Gohan, in fact. But one thing to keep in mind is that you cannot have multiple domains up at the same time. So if future Gohan's domain is up, you cannot use this Trunks' active skill domain. Just like how if, what's it called? Trunks is an active skill. Would he, like, override the domain if you use it? I actually don't know if domains can override each other. I just know you can't activate 2 domains at the same time with the same character. I'm assuming you cannot, like, override it. So, like, next turn we'll see. Will future Gohan's domain override this one? I don't think that's the case, but this is an active skill, so it is a voice animation. So we see here with the domain effect, we can obviously look at this, and it's the grass. So if we take a look at the stats are buffed for all of our characters. Again, the 10% attacking defense for future Saga Superclass allies is just very powerful because of the fact that Superclass Future Saga is really, really good. Whoa, no way, right? So I'll probably go ahead and keep this Future Trunks here. We do miss out on what? I think that's Messenger from the Future. Or is it Dismal Future? I think we're missing on Dismal Future, which is just 5% attack. And then, no, it's actually just a 5% crit chance. I believe that's the Messenger from the Future. Let me double check that just to be sure. Yeah, it's 5% crit and 2 key. It's not really a big deal to be missing out on that. So We'll go ahead and grab this with you, get the Super Trunks like that. And again, we're getting the 50% support from Mai. He had gotten an attack last turn as well, so he has half of his attack and defense passive built up. And that's why we go dodge, by the way, on these units right here. So sitting a 6 million attack stat on this turn with the domain up. We got the additional attack, so he is actually technically fully built up now offensively, which is good to see. But again, yeah, this domain does last for 4 turns along with the attack and defense buff. He's getting a quiet amount of support on the rotation overall because this Trunks is giving him, I believe it's 10% attack and defense, no, Q1 and 20% attack and defense. He could potentially give extra buffs if there's a full Future Saga, not Future Saga, Saviors category rotation, but not really going to be too common everything you'll experience, I feel. We'll go ahead and grab this with you. But yeah, I mean, this Trunks overall, so like I guess a strat you could do is you could just use this guy and you want to get him turn 1, then you could use the domain. Then the domain runs out on turn 5, and Future Gohan's domain would go into effect. But if you see here, Future Gohan's domain did not actually activate, so that just shows that, you know, you can't override Future Gohan's, Trunks' domain with this Future Gohan's. I just don't know if you could override Future Gohan's with Trunks's, because of the fact that it would be an active skill, right? So that might be possible. You obviously wouldn't want to do that. I think Future Gohan's domain effect is just much more powerful ability to take advantage of, considering it increases damage you would do to extreme class allies, right? And I think, you know, even though you get the multiplicative 10% debuff, defense buff to all your allies, I mean, I don't think it's worth missing out on what else you can get there. So at least that's my personal preference. Let me know what you guys would say. Would you prefer this Trunks' domain ability, or do you prefer the Future Gohan's? I'm sure, I mean, the Future Gohan's allows him to use his active skill, so I'm sure many people would answer Gohan's, but yeah. I hope the Trunks finishes things off. It'd be funny if it's like 1 HP. Are you kidding me? Okay. Thanks. Okay. Well, it's fine. We're gonna see supportive the Trunks' support here with Gowasu specifically. I said that really weird. I've been saying this thing's really weird in this video. So he's fully built up here. He's at 479k. Again, he still has the potential to get the 100% buff on Super and then the 30% buff. So, I mean, I think overall this Trunks is looking pretty nice. What kind of attacks that is he going to hit without any of the support, right? I think that'll be interesting to see. Well, none of the Mai support specifically. So a 6 million attack stat. Yeah, I mean, he's decent, right? I don't think there's any really other thing to say about this Trunks. He's just a decent unit overall. The domain effect is still up here, but we can see next turn the domain will go away. Do I get another rotation with Mai then just end things there? I could aim for a rotation with Mai and then finish things off from that specific turn. But is it really necessary? Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll get one last rotation if I can with Mai. I'll just skip ahead until we get to that specific rotation. Might die this turn because the Trunks in the middle, I don't think he's gonna be able to eat this attack from Frieza because he's been stacking his attack. I'm pretty sure he just dies. Yeah. Oops. I mean, that's the issue with like the Trunks' linking partners. It's like super strike units. He does have Cold Judgment though. I mean, if you could get Cold Judgment active, it's fine. But sometimes you may not have links for this guy. I'll just end the showcase here. Let me know what you guys think about the domain Trunks. I think his numbers look pretty nice overall. But he's mostly going to be a unit you use the domain for in support. I think against like that Fusion Zamasu, like Divine Wrath and Mortal Will stage is where this Trunks actually can get most of his, you know, I guess, how to explain it, most of his value from, because in that stage specifically, he is type advantage. And you could use the domain from the first turn. So you are able to get a good use out of him. He's on the Entrusted Will category team. So I actually used him on Easy Aid for the Entrusted Will category mission. So obviously, if you do have this guy Easy Aid with his equipment built into him, he will be able to do very, very well for that event. And I think, you know, as long as there's like a place for the Trunks that he could really be used well in, I think that makes me satisfied. Maybe he's not like red zone viable, but if they wanted to, they would, like, I don't know, the high chance to crit if there's a Future Saga or Time Traveler's enemy. If that was a high chance to dodge, then this guy would actually be really, really good in those red zone stages. But unfortunately, he's not that level. I wanted to give him a sticker real quick too before we end. If I'm just able to click on that, let's see what is this guy's sticker looking like, right? It's probably gonna look really bad, I'm assuming. It's okay, right? But you know, it's meh. So thanks for watching though. We'll catch you next time.